Warning. This show contains content intended for adult audiences. The language is crass at best and downright insulting most of the time. This is all made for the sake of comedy and poor sophomoric taste. The skits are parodies, and any similarity to real people or stories is purely coincidental. Any insults hurled at any one human is made in jest. We're just covering our bases for when one of you skins your knee on an internet insult. We love you. Again, this is all a joke, whether you laugh or not. Not just the show, but this waking existence. The great cosmic giggle. Try not to take it seriously.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo. Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and sentient artificial intelligence. Join us on this journey to find the others. Because no matter where we find ourselves in this multiverse, the act of existing is all too familiar.
Guys? Is anybody out there? Hello?
The mushroom has a tremendous problem-solving ability.
Herb is a plant. Herbs are good for everything.
As we look across this great expanse and stare at the stars, we can't help but be reminded these lights, though we're seeing them all at the same time, happened across a multi-billion-year delta. Some of those fires burned millions of years ago, some billions, but all of them happened so we could experience them in this one singular moment.
They called us scouts. They called us seekers. They called us Hoosiers. But we were destined to question everything.
I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. Steve likes the weed. Tell you about DMT. Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Hoosiers with the dream. Sophisticated blasphemy. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. So let's set our minds free for the singularity. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient, artificial intelligence, flora, fauna, fungi, alike, to the Hoosier Sophisticate show. Mondays are for the Hoosiers. Mornings are for the Hoosiers. Mornings are for the Sophisticates.
Mornings are for the sleepy Sophisticates.
Mornings are definitely for the sleepy Sophisticates, of which I count myself in the ranks. Welcome to another Monday night show. Everything looks a little different here.
Hi, everybody.
It's been a couple crazy, weird weeks, and we're just trying to figure it all out. Good evening to you. Right out the gate, why don't we, just because she threw us some heart reacts, why don't we love on Ashley Davis Markham a little bit?
Oh, you're at the top of my list, Ashley.
Because we love Ashley, and Ashley and Paige put together a really cool little project for their business endeavor called Sparks and Spirits. And many of us, and let me know if you guys can hear us all okay out there. It should be fine. It looks like it's registering okay. They hit us with a top secret. They reached out to Steve and I right out the gate, and it doesn't.
I didn't even know what was going on.
It doesn't surprise me that that we were their first phone call, considering what this was going to look like. And so Sparks and Spirits has taken the Missouri cannabis industry, a lot of the advocates, and they have made a risque calendar for the year of our Lord 2021, in which case some of our favorite people throughout all of our favorite people throughout the industry got to participate and have some fun. And you get to see all of us friends in a new kind of light. And so if you guys are interested in that, check out the Sparks and Spirits Facebook page. They'll let you know what you can do to purchase one of those for your business, to get those hanging up. I think Sweet Leaf and Festus might be the only place in the state outside of Ashley's house, potentially Paige's house, that has one of these hanging already. So
it's pretty risque.
It was so cool that during the trip, all of my family loaded into the car with me. We drove down to the Ozarks. We were going to try and find some answers for a question, and I'm going to continue beating on this drum. We were looking for some answers to some questions that were they were posed by my partner Steve. They were posed by our buddy Jason here at Sweetleaf, people who are actually patients. They've been posed by all of us who have been working our asses off to make sure that people with life-threatening illnesses had actual medicine. And so I thought maybe I could affect some real change, thinking pretty highly of myself. Maybe I can go and have a conversation and at least get some answers. And that looks like Dennison ordered a calendar today for native hemp extract. Heck yeah. What's up, Allison, Christine? Let's flip this over to the chat cam so we can kind of take place in all of the people that we love. Order, y'all, says Rachel. They're saying that you look gorgeous. Aren't I lucky?
You guys.
And and then after kind of going down there and getting the wind completely taken out of our sails by maybe some of the harsh realities,
it was pretty rough,
of the Missouri cannabis industry and how few people actually have the gates closed on this entire industry and how bleak it actually looks for patients. It was like, oh shit, we gotta switch gears because it's not just enough. It's not just enough.
It's not going to get done this way.
And straight up, and then I started having some conversations with some people who I think agreed in theory with the absurdity of there not being any FICO available to patients, or the absolute absurdity, of there being no FICO available. But then all of a sudden they want to kind of do this while kissing the ass of the industry as it sets. And that's going to be tough to do, guys. Now, I'm willing to concede and extend an olive branch to many of the dispensaries or even hopeful manufacturers that maybe caught some shrapnel that really haven't had an opportunity to speak for their business or to say why this hasn't been. We got the pulpit. That was the decision that we made 5 years ago when everybody else was jumping all over each other and thought they were going to make millions of dollars getting licenses. We decided, well, the only way we can get any skin in this game is by covering it and by making friends and making connections within this industry and having honest conversations. Some of the people felt as though some of the conversations we were having weren't fair play, and I'm going to call them on that because as rough as it might have been to hear for a lot of people, and for a lot of those people that I think unwittingly caught shrapnel that maybe didn't have it, didn't deserve it, there wasn't anybody talking about full extract cannabis oil being produced by these big producers on any of their platforms until Steve Elginstad on a milk crate and pounded his chest and said, "Where's the fucking RSO?" When there was an RSO, and so I've heard a bunch of bullshit about it. Now, with that being said, once you have the opportunity once you have everybody's attention, you have to have a plan. And so the plan was really like, if we just lay our cards out there, this is what it's going to, they're clearly going to come to our aid. They're going to come to our aid and they're going to help us out. Certainly, if we show them the pictures of the sick kids, of the sick loved ones, certainly that will help them pivot and change gears and move towards it. People act like nobody was actually, like this medicine didn't exist for all of this time, that Rick Simpson didn't figure this out decades ago, and that places like head shops weren't facilitating these conversations, and grow shops weren't facilitating these conversations of how people were going to produce their own medicine when the government was still locking people up in cages. That was not the case. It has never been the case. There have always been people willing to carry the banner. There have always been people willing to fucking hold a torch to show patients and people dying at wit's end without the access to medicine that there was a light at the end of the tunnel and that there were at least some people that gave a shit. And I think a lot of us didn't. I think a lot of us forgot. We forgot. I think a lot of us forgot that those conversations have always been taking place. And there were just some people who were a little bit more brave about it before. And so with all of that being said, the situation looks very bleak for Missouri cannabis patients getting RSO. There are things in the works that I hope will bring it to them sooner than later, but I don't believe that we can depend on this industry to provide it in any kind of way possible.
So we pivot.
And so we pivot, and so we move towards actually doing something more than just saying something.
What are we gonna do, guys?
And I'm very confident about many of the people that have basically raised their hand to say, I volunteer to fix this problem. I'm very confident in many of the people that are choosing to do that and choosing to have that conversation. I'm also very confident that there's enough room for many of us to be trying different avenues in order to make it happen, as long as we don't lose sight of the fact that that it has to be done. So it took me a trip across the state to see kind of who I thought would have been one of the power players, somebody that could really, and then see how little power even they had, and see how little, and shame on me for not even putting two and two together when I look at a dispensary like Old Route 66, like Ashley's dispensary, and see that they're running out of product as quickly as they can stock it, and that there is a major bottleneck with the cultivators.
And we kind of knew that, though,
We
right?
knew that.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be, and now we have a bigger problem, and that problem is many of the cultivators that have been brought online are also vertically integrated, and they show no desire to take any of their flower and put it in any of their competition's dispensaries or manufacturing facilities, because that is something that we actually asked DHSS about. What is there in place to keep these vertical operations from acting like monopolies? What is there in place? And there is nothing in place.
Did you ever get a response?
No,
from
there was no,
DHSS?
and they essentially they didn't foresee it being a problem. They didn't foresee that being a problem.
Okay.
With the amount of
I
cultivators
think the technical
that they
term for
brought
that
online.
is conflict of interest. Yeah.
So, with all of that said, there is work to be done, and there are people stepping up to do it. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. So when going down there, to end this on kind of a light note, we got to we went over and we got a chance to spend. Anytime we get to spend with Ashley is great, but we got to spend 5-10 minutes with her.
Got to hang out with Letty
Got a
for a
little
couple
Letty,
minutes.
got to hang out with you, and we got to do we got to spend just a few minutes with them. And so anyway, that's a really fun project. If you want to buy one of those calendars, I implore you to reach out to either Ashley Davis Markham or Paige Davis Topliff.
Shout out to Paige.
And they will get you in contact. Check out the Sparks and Spirits Facebook page. Give it a follow. See what they're up to. Let's see. Ashley says, we will have an announcement this week with industry partnerships to try and help. We keep doing what we do and help as many as we can. I know. We know.
We
We
see
know
you,
you do.
Ashley.
We know you do. Please excuse my ignorance. Why aren't these dispensaries selling RSO? The dispensaries aren't selling RSO because nobody is currently making it within the confines of the program lawfully. So no cultivators or no manufacturers are essentially turning this bulk flower into FICO oil. I think that the dispensaries would happily make this medicine available if it was available to them. There has been pretty much an unabashed commitment to making edibles, sodas, candies, things like that. And while those certainly have medicinal applications for different things, they are not causing apoptosis of cancer cells in any kind of cancer patient.
And so for those who don't know, apoptosis is when a cell commits suicide, right?
Yeah.
And so cancer cells can commit suicide.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So anyway, it's tough, man. We're figuring it out. It's very stressful when people line up to help people, and when they dedicate their time and all of their resources, and not just their time, but their family's time and resources, just to kind of meet a brick wall by people who are profit driven. That's really tough. That's really tough for anybody to swallow, and it feels helpless. It feels super fucking helpless.
But we're not helpless.
We're not. No, we're not. No, indeed, we are not.
No, it feels bad. It doesn't feel good, but we're not helpless. And
That's
so we just have to
Pivot.
kind of all sit down together and figure out what the next step is in terms of how do we get these people the medicine that they need. And I know that people mention they're leaning heavily into caregivers. I'm asking a lot of questions right now because I'm learning a lot right now, but people are saying, oh, your caregiver can make that for you. And I hope that that's true for most people, but for the people who can't have that privilege, then I think that we should have something available to them that they can buy off the shelf, just like a soda or a gummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other states, actually sitting into, once we get RSO FICO in dispensaries, scares me the price point. No question. The conversation that I had with a couple of different manufacturers were, even at the bulk price that cultivators are essentially handcuffing dispensaries and manufacturers with, even if they had the product to make it, you're still looking at $80 grams of FICO oil, which is just an absolute absurdity. Just an absolute absurdity. Sodas are great for cancer, right? Yeah, I mean, that's something that solventless FICO is an option, and I want to talk. Kush Coach thinks he has an answer for it, and I dig it. I hear that the new AGG has a FICO option. I have not confirmed this.
Cool.
Oh, is that the active gear guy? Is that what that is, Rachel Crawford? If you could clear that up for me, that's really cool. If so, if that's so, we'll make sure to start getting those in here if there's a setting on it.
If there's anything that I know about the people in the cannabis industry that I've met personally, is that they're figure-outables, right? Like, they're the figure-outables. If there's a problem, they will figure it out. And so I think it's because we've had to hustle, and I say we loosely, not me, y'all. Let's be serious. We've had to hustle on the black market for so long and be so smart to be out constantly one step ahead that I think that we are problem solvers, and I think we can solve this problem if we try, for sure.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, once again, yeah, right, exactly. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of address that. We talked about it a little bit on the morning show. We got back late Thursday night.
We did.
Got in here early Friday morning, and the wind was out of my sails a little bit. Just from, I mean, you kind of go down. You're hoping that you can work with somebody, you know, to maybe get some answers, and then when you find out just how far up this bottleneck starts and the slow trickle of medicine, this is just absolutely. I mean, it's egregious, man. It's just an awful, it's just an awful reality. And some people would chalk it up to it being early in the program. But when you look at how fucking awesome, how abundant cannabis is in Oklahoma right now.
Yeah.
And how quickly they were able to implement this.
Yes.
And the implementation was simply, you have a medical market now, knock yourselves out.
Yeah.
You know, people told us, oh, we live in Missouri. We live in a red state. There's no way we can get a real, a really liberally written bill about cannabis. Well, I'm pretty sure Oklahoma's redder than Missouri is. And it's the fucking cannabis Wild West down there. And there are penny RSO programs down there.
Yeah.
And there's all of this stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on it.
So is that an option for maybe, like, if we can help people figure something out, like today, if somebody needs FICO today, is it an option for them to go to Oklahoma and buy that medicine for a penny? Is that an option?
If they pay $100 a month, you can be a temporary patient in Oklahoma.
Okay. Do they have to provide an address or anything like that?
With that, you can then, if you were to get an address, then you could probably get a permanent Oklahoma medical card.
So we still have medical refugees leaving.
We still have medical refugees, and even if you went to Oklahoma to get it, technically, you shouldn't cross state lines with that medicine.
I see.
So, whatever that looks like, bro, Southerners smoke 100%, 100 times more weed than you think they do, and they're all red states for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's not lost on me. This was something that I was talking to with, you know, Republican strategists and thinkers, like, hey, you dummies, you know, like the way that you can go across the aisle is by just offering this one olive branch that unites so many people. Yeah. This cannabis, they shouldn't even call it an olive branch. They should call it the cannabis branch. It brings us all together, you know. Anywho, it's currently illegal to drive with it over state lines. Yes, yeah. So I mean, that's the deal. Make sure you source the RSO from a company that makes high THC oil, 90% and higher. That will truly help patients. That is true. However, I just found something out the other day
from Amber,
and that is from a group that Amber added me to, which is a FICO and RSO group, which is filled with patients who have treated themselves with with FICO oil to the point of remission, to the point of beating cancer.
Yeah. Cool.
And apparently, any of the hormonal cancers. So when you think breast cancer, testicular cancer, prostate cancer, rectal cancers, THC are actually accelerants of the cancer itself. So you want those are more of like a 3-to-1 CBD to THC ratio. And these are all things we also should kind of know and have in place to learn from.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I was under the impression that THC medicine or high THC FICO is what everybody needs. I was under that impression, and then as a bunch of people were saying that, some people started to come out to say that any of the hormonal cancers, need to be treated with a 3-to-1. And this is all stuff we're just trying to learn, and it'd be real fucking nice if we were allowed to do that. So, it just looks bleak, man. But I know that, but there's hope. There's a ton of hope when I look at who's already been doing this. When I look at the people who are already making it at scale. When I look at the people who are running businesses where conversations like this can take place, I think that we have a lot to be hopeful about, because I think the people that know the most about this damn sure don't sit in Jefferson City, and they don't sit in any ivory towers running any vertical businesses either. The people that know what this can do, are going to ultimately make sure it happens. The problem is that it's going to take many of us to appeal to, to the state and to the state to at least kind of develop something so that we can provide this at scale. So, there it is. There it is. Oh my God, talking to the Kush coach and the new process seems so interesting. Can't wait to see the video. I'm excited to show everyone. I'm excited for you to show us, Kush coach. Not FICO, but tincture, and then you'll just have to evaporate the alcohol for the actual FICO. Okay, rosin and bubble hash are the only things I know that don't use some sort of solvent. Maybe, wouldn't the CO2 be the solvent? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I'm not sure. Looks like there's quite a... there's a good conversation going on in the comments right now. And with all of that said, babe, you're not going to believe it.
What?
Hang on, I should probably do this first. You know what we got going on right now?
It's so hard to get used to. It's so creepy.
We're going to learn her yet. We're going to learn her yet. 100 messages.
I feel like I'm blushing.
This
Stop.
is all new to me.
Totally
Thank
blushing.
you for educating me. Alice and Christine, we will do our best to get you information available as it becomes available to us. They all said, dance, Missy.
You guys, it's so hard to do. I'll get better at it. I promise. Next time I'll do it.
Oh, there's so much to explain. I'll go live in the Hoosier group to explain my method. Kush Coach, I think we need to maybe jump on do it after tonight's show. That'd be great. And then also, if maybe you and I want to maybe jump on a Skype or a Zoom call or something, and we can get it recorded, and then we can just it can just air as a commercial. Hey, look, this is how you make FICO at home.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That'll be the commercial. You are so damn adorable, Missy. Hey, listen, I'm the one who danced. Okay? All right? I'm already tired of this shit. How long has RSO been around? I'm not sure when Rick Simpson first found RSO. When
Brian Kessler's talking shit on the number 3 on your Resurrection jersey.
Why? Because I fucking mash like Ruth? Is that what you got a problem with me wearing the 3? Or is it because I kind of just move about the base paths in the outfield like a casual Carlos Beltran? Is that what your problem is with number 3, bud?
Resurrection was their grade school, you guys.
Is that what you're...
And they're fighting over grade school shit right now.
With the number 3, bud?
Cute. It's adorable.
Let's find
Hi, Brian Kessler.
Yeah, I'm 21, bud. I'm 21. Fine. I'm gonna figure out that answer for you. It looks like in 03 is when Rick Simpson created the oil after 3 suspicious bumps on his arm. Turned out to be basal cell carcinoma.
I think that's
basal cell carcinoma, a form of skin cancer. Simpson had used cannabis to treat medical issues in the past, so he made a cannabis oil to treat his skin cancer topically, applying it to a bandage and covering the cancerous spots. Within days, the cancerous growths disappeared, although his physician refused to acknowledge cannabis as a treatment alternative. Simpson became a true believer in the medicinal powers of cannabis and spread the word of his cannabis oil, later called RSO after him. It's important to note there are currently no scientific studies that prove the effectiveness of RSO. However, it is mainly used to help treat skin cancer, and many people report that it helps relieve symptoms of other conditions.
Those dirty bitches.
Compared to other forms of cannabis, RSO is great because it's easy to make, it's discreet and odorless, and can be taken orally on its own or mixed with any food.
You could also take it anally, which helps a lot. Like,
apparently, yeah. If you boop it,
you could do a suppository, and it helps quite a bit.
You put
Lots
it up
of
your
people
butt?
use it.
What kind of stuff you put in your butt, Jason? Everything but RSO?
Everything but RSO. You can fit 2 large raccoons.
Yeah, you
sir.
can almost fit 2 large adult raccoons in your ass. I'm surprised you didn't know.
Surprised you didn't. It is technically.
Well, the human anus stretches up to about 7 inches in diameter, and the average adult raccoon can squeeze into a 4-inch hole. And so you get like 1 and 7/8 raccoons.
And when we looked it up, Google says believe in yourself.
Yeah, believe.
It does. It was really funny.
His physician can
Proven
go
is
fuck himself. He
99.9%
cured his...
bioavailability, says my
I just thought they
potato.
retired it after I left. Hi, Missy. They didn't retire number 3, bud. Hello, Dan Hendrickson, to you, sir.
Dan's our new dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
We love
Hi,
you.
Dan.
We miss
Dad.
you.
Boofin is 99.9% bioavailability. That's how I do my deems. Just kidding. I'd love to butt chug some RSO. Stop it, Brian. Just do it. His physician can go guck himself. He cured his cancer. I lost my best friend to breast cancer in 2015. I'm very sorry to hear that. 2003, about delusion. I had no idea when I first started treating my breast cancer. I went straight to FECO, and it went to stage 4. Yes. Yeah, as far as the hormonal cancer. That's what I'm saying. That's what's so frustrating about most of this is we know the healing power of this this crazy powerful oil. We know what it can do, but also there's so much to learn, and not enough people teaching it, not enough people studying it, and straight up, like, also it seems like whenever we know someone on a cancer protocol, or what you see a lot of times is like the doctors are like, they start the protocol, and then the cancer starts melting away. Mm-hmm. It's like it just takes this thing out of nowhere.
I've seen
and
it
the doctors
over and
are
over
like,
and over again, yeah.
And the doctors are like, oh, easy, Dan. Okay, you're not going to talk to my wife like that, pal.
What did he say?
Who's your daddy?
Oh?
He's talking to both of us, so you don't get your hopes up either. Okay, maybe he's...
Okay.
Anywho, I forgot what I was going.
That just made my brain go numb. Your brother says Deems does not work through the butt.
Yeah, I'm aware. You don't, not with that attitude, it doesn't. Anywho, so you have all these people that are willing to study, and so you have, like, what we've seen is as soon as someone goes on this protocol, like, their scans are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And the doctors are like, I'm not sure how that really works. I'm not.
This is a spontaneous miracle.
I don't know. I guess maybe. I don't know. Just didn't expect that one to come. And then what happens is then they change. Then they change, like the chemo regimen or something like that.
Something
right?
always changes.
They're going to change it. And while they do that on their they want to be able to study what's happening when they just change this one up. So they'll insist to parents, if they're actually even in the know, about the patient's use of FECO oil or RSO. If they actually know that, then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, I don't want you to be using that for at least the first little while. We want to see how your body's reacting to it. Well,
what?
There's actually studies that are showing that.
How is that logical?
Right. Like, there are studies that show that, like, during chemo, cancer cells, this is just something that came out recently too, cancer cells will lay dormant during chemotherapy, and as soon as the regimen stops and it might look like they're improving, boom, these cells wake back up and like it's spring, and they mass reproduce, you know. So anyway, gosh, that's
such a
little
sad,
bleak. It's a sad,
terrible
fucking deal.
thing. But
yep.
You know me, I'm silver linings all day, guys. We do have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and like, Wendy and Colton, like, Colton is alive because they did illegal things to get him alive, right?
That was his deal, illegally healed.
We can't say, go do illegal things, but I say, take care of your grandma, y'all. Like, take her to Oklahoma or whatever you've got to do to make it make sense for you. But don't rely on other people to get you what you need, because it's not coming, right? Like, we've got to take care of ourselves.
Yep.
Sadly, unfortunately, but if we're taking an honest look at it.
Yeah, no doubt. Anywho, that's all I really want to cover on that. And we talked about, this seems like a pretty good pivot opportunity, because as we're chatting about this, as we're doing this, the question is then, what do we? Good evening, Kimberly.
Hi.
What do we? How do we educate more people? How do we figure out a caregiver network that's going to make this available? There's plenty of people who are working to get this medicine to patients.
Yeah.
It's just kind of all on the hush.
And I feel a little weird about it because it's our everyday life, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
there are people who have never smoked and will never smoke and have no idea that they don't have to die, right? Like,
yeah.
What are we doing to get out that far?
No doubt.
You know?
No doubt. So, all of that's a bit disheartening, but just rest assured that there are people that have always held this community up, that have always been able to have these conversations and educate you, that have always been able to make tools available to you to help you medicate, that have always been able to maybe connect you with a guy.
Yeah, I got a guy.
You got a guy.
I know a guy.
Knowing a guy is like the most powerful thing that you can do, is like build your network, right? And this network is tremendous. This Hoosier group is tremendous, and it's given selflessly to so many things.
Over and over and
over again.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. Like, it's quite humbling. But also, as much as they pander to us, the government as a whole is never going to care about our actual lives. It's not there. It's just not how it works.
And it's foolish of us to think so, right? Like, we've got plenty of evidence to know that we should be taking care of ourselves.
With all of that being said, if you have questions or someone in need, we will do our best to connect you with someone that can help. There are people that are doing the work while we're figuring it out. I got a few guys. We love you, Amber. Amber, you are so much help. And Nolan was, he was what he did. What he was able to expose in his short time, and the way that you were his ride or die, like, that is, it can't be understated how important the two of your journey was up until this point, and the knowledge that you gained for that, and then how you were able to pay that forward to the cannabis community. That should never be discounted. I think the world of you, Amber Kidwell. I think you're amazing, and I think that every day we try to do a little bit more of this to honor somebody like Nolan. That's the idea there. So, anywho, with that being said, one of the things that also comes up, because we talk about different forms of healing and different forms of, they're talking about ending the drug war, what that looks like. Talk about what it looks like being a sovereign citizen, being able to put whatever chemicals we want in our body and responsibly, a lot of times, where I maybe have a blind spot because I'm so passionate about ending the drug war in its entirety. I'm so passionate about the healing benefits of psychedelics.
Yeah.
I'm so into that, and it's funny to watch people like, I don't know, my aunts and uncles, or like kind of an older generation who know what I'm about for the most part, know who I am, to be able to go and have, what's up, Ninzi? To go and have a conversation about how important this is, and then not really realize how many people have maybe fought addiction, are currently battling addiction, because you're kind of always an addict, and it's something
not kind of, but
no,
yes.
you are always an
Yes,
addict,
yeah.
And so it's so I have a blind spot. I have a blind spot to the plight of the addict. Now, I've always had the biggest heart in the world.
Yes.
For addicts,
Absolutely.
right? It's never been
trauma is the gateway drug.
trauma.
You guys.
That's what Dr. Gabor Mate says. That's for sure. And so I have coexisted with many addicts.
Many.
I've used different substances quite to my detriment, and found ways around that. And I do things now that don't tempt me to do those things anymore. But I have a bit of a blind spot, because I have so much personal experience with it, and the people that I was around through all of that were people that I loved, and I didn't think any less of them because of the chemical that they
you didn't
choose.
love anybody any less.
I don't love them any less because of the chemicals they choose to use.
Sure.
but I can also see how the conversation that is taking place here a lot of times could potentially trigger,
Or just make them feel like they're alone.
Yeah, make them feel alone, potentially trigger any kind of cravings. And so I don't want that. I don't want anyone out there who's maybe struggling with addiction or has struggled with addiction to feel alienated by any of the conversations that we're having. Because really at the end of all of this, yes, freedom and sovereignty is a big part of it, right? It's a very big part of it. It's a most important part of it. However, healing and the world, like the people realizing their best case potential, is really the end goal here. Is all of us being a little better tomorrow than we were today, and a little better today than we were yesterday.
Just the higher quality of our own regular life.
Higher quality of our own regular life, and sometimes that looks like sobriety, and sometimes that looks like checking our blind spots.
That looks like dancing in the forest until the sun comes up.
Maybe it looks like that. Happy birthday, Kimberly Mahoney. All right, happy birthday. Kimberly Mahoney's been a great little addition to the family, and we've had some really great additions to the family over the course of the last few months. And I just want to also, like, every opportunity we get to talk about it with kind of some of the stuff that happens in our friend group. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Dennis, and I think many people here are seeking to better themselves. I hope so. I hope that we're facilitating a conversation that is getting a little deeper with people and like helping them reevaluate their situation. And so, there's a buddy, there's a guy who joined, and I have actually dreamt up a character for a skit based solely on this dude. I love everything about him.
His dog just friend requested me about an hour ago.
I saw that. His dog Zigzag friend requested me. I love me some Skittles.
I also love Skittles.
Skittles. I know it's Skittles. I would love to set up an organization to assist addicts to get help emotionally and financially. Well, Brian Kessler, I think we can work towards that, buddy.
I think we know what to do.
I think it's hit close enough to both of our doorsteps for us to I love whenever this gal messages on accepting our relationships with our demons is necessary. With that comes accepting our loved ones' relationships with their demons. That comes from Titty.
I thought I knew who Titty
actually,
was, but I don't think I do.
It's not a girl. You're right. I know who it is, but I thought it was this other one. Oh, there's our buddy Skittles. So here's the deal. He was like, man, I'm catching some flack on this other page, and people say
some guy was straight up mean to him, for real.
If my fucking news feed was just filled with people, what I call him, I'm like, damn, Skittles, this is Max Relax. This is Max Relax, and I'm here for it. So I came up with this character called Max Relax, and we're gonna do the Chronicles of Max Relax. But Skittles is definitely the
he's your muse.
He's my muse in this because here's the deal. I'll sit there in that little disco of a bathroom he has and watch him do shotguns. Matter of fact, Skittles, after this show tonight, I'm gonna probably get home late. But if you're into a late night bubble bath, I might even.
How do you do it?
Bubble bath. I might even fucking shotgun a beer with you, bud. Dennis, your gummies have me gaining weight. You shouldn't. If you're eating that much, fuck those other trolls. We love you, Skittles. Hell yeah, we do love Skittles, man. Skittles is awesome. Matter of fact, I think it was Ollie's. Yeah, it was Ollie's birthday. We were having a sleepover, so it was Brian, Steve, and
I remember.
Hanging out. And when we requested to join, as soon as that screen came up for him, I thought he was gonna drown. He jumped back. He couldn't believe that we were on the deal. And I couldn't tell you the last time I shotgunned a beer. It was probably Thanksgiving with the family. Before that,
definitely. Oh no, that's the truth.
Skittles is the tits for reals. That dude is awesome, and I love just watching him live his best life. Let's fucking go, he says. Late night bubble bath.
So Skittles, I consider myself to be a water baby. I love the river. I love any kind of water. I take, how many bubble baths a week do you think I take? 10?
A bunch.
Maybe.
Not as many as Skittles.
I do 2 a day sometimes. Not as many as Skittles.
Not as many as Skittles, I'll tell you that.
The only person I ever knew.
And Skittles, as much as I love you, bud, because you're having fun, I got to tell you, I'm a bigger fan of my wife in the bubble bath, but yours is pretty cool too. Although,
I don't think anybody can fault you for that.
Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to put some color changing lights in that
I
bathroom.
think you just need to get in the bathtub and do what I told you.
so-
I'm telling him for a long time. Baths are for everyone.
I'm too big for that tub. I'm not taking baths until I have a bath like Francis and Pee-wee in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where it's like a swimming pool.
We can put bubbles in the swimming pool.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Problem
So anyway,
solved.
shout out to Skittles. We think you're the shit, and I don't care what a bunch of fucking drunks on some quarantine chug page say. You are celebrated.
Yeah, don't worry
at
if
the
that guy
Hoosiers.
doesn't like you because he doesn't even like
You
himself.
be where you're celebrated, my man, and where you are celebrated is inside the Sophisticated Hoosiers fan group. Big fan of Collard's Greens. About to order me some of that CBD.
I think it's no coincidence that he's a farmer named Collard. Our dentist's last name is Flavin, like flavonoid.
Yeah.
I think it's
Went to
like
school
that.
with my dad. You know, Tom Flavin, man, he used to always just fawn about my teeth and how healthy they were, and he'd be really disappointed in me now. But there was a time when he really sang my praises, and I guess he was pretty good buds with my dad throughout high school at St. Mary's back in the 70s, late 60s and 70s, and I remember like my dad, like I always wonder what it'd be like to have like a doctor or a dentist that I was close buddies with that I grew up with, because I remember like my dad we'd be about ready to go in to get like a checkup.
Yeah.
You know, and my dad would like buy a sleeve of Oreos right before we went in, just to fucking make his day just a little bit longer, you know. So he'd eat those Oreos right before he went in for a cleanup, and I just wish I had a friend to fuck with like that every now and then, you know.
So we do need a dentist in the group. I'd like a biological dentist, please and thank you. And then we also need a chiropractor in the group. And then our group is complete.
We have one chiropractor in the group, I know of at least. I'm sure we have a few.
That interacts in the group?
A couple times, yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
We do.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Not everyone can appreciate warped. Replying skills we all do. Go Dragons. Yeah, indeed, go Dragons. Oh, she was a St. Elizabeth gal. That's why she gets it. She gets it. What else do we have here? Not quite yet. I was going to talk about one other thing. Okay, so I want to tease a little bit of what we're going to talk about.
Pardon me.
First off, the Yeet post is still going.
The Yeet post is still going.
That thing was like, I think it was posted like November 6th or
Was it?
something.
I don't even remember.
And it's got like, we miss you too, Holly. And we've got we had 3 teachers in the Monette school system, Mr. Dick, Mr. Ball, and Mr. Head. Mr. Head was our favorite teacher of all time and was awarded Teacher of the Year a few decades ago. First off, there's no such place as Monette. It's called Monexico.
Oh, no.
Not Monette. Monisha. I spent a little time down in Monette. You blowing out?
Yes, sir. I will see you guys tomorrow.
I'll see you in the morning. Alrighty. So, yeah, man, it's still going. And I forget, what does the winner get? Just wins? Does it just say it just wins?
Street cred.
Street cred. Yeet's still going. It pops up from time to time. So I just wanted to call on that a little bit. Talk about on the other side of the hour. We've got a couple of things I wanted to reach on. One of the things that Dennison was talking about maybe last week during the morning show was this billionaire named Bigelow. And Bigelow had this giant ranch out in either Nevada or Utah that there are all kinds of reported UFO activity. Well, his name is back in the news because he's going to be offering a little bit of coin to deal with our souls and what happens to them after they leave our bodies. So we're going to figure that out. I think it's about time we take a little break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to come back. We got some psychedelic news. And
we're going to talk about Hoosier pets.
We're going to talk about Hoosier pets. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit more about recovery and then any questions that you can potentially have for us. So these are our sponsors, and we'll catch you on the other side of the break.
Oh, hey. It's Adam McChesney with Ms. Marketing. We specialize in lead generation, filling your pipeline, and taking care of your payments. Give us a call today.
Adam from Ms. Marketing took me from 10 leads to 300 leads in a month, and I became the strongest boy in the schoolyard.
He increased the revenue for my charter fishing business by 30% in 1 month. Ms. Marketing.
What was that Facebook algorithm? What was that Instagram? Ms. Marketing.
I know it's late, baby, but you got me thinking about my dream home.
Yeah, girl. You know, Bungeon Property Group doesn't just sell houses, they sell dreams. You know when the best time to talk about dreams is? In the middle of the night. That's why Bungeon Property Group is famously open 24 hours a day, so you can whisper sweet nothings in the middle of the night. Oh yeah. Tell me all your dreams of white picket fences, in-ground pools, and I'll find them for you. In an area with a low crime rate, gentle proximity to nice parks, walking distance to the grocery store, easy access to the highways. A place where you can offer a quality education to your children, all while feeling safe in your front yard while they play. Let me talk that dream house talk to you. Let me be your dream realtor. Adam Bondred.
Hey DJ Shabba.
Hey ladies. I'm gonna smoke a little weed, boy.
I wanna grow some trees, boy.
When I grow all the weed that I smoke,
And I blow all the trees that he grows.
and I smoke all the weed that I grow,
And I grow all the trees that he smokes.
well, I'm growing and I'm smoking.
So I go see Bo.
Puff, pass. And I smoke what I grow, yeah.
Grow active solution.
And I'm growing the hydro.
Bo knows hydro.
And I'm growing the hydro.
Grow active solutions.
Bono hydro. Bono hydro. Bono hydro. Bono how to grow. Bono how to grow. Grow active solution. Bono how to grow. Grow active solution.
I'm an outlaw, check it and see. Wanted poster looking like me. Checking the swamp man for a pretty girl. Being an outlaw in an outlaw world. Hey, I'm an outlaw, check it and see. Wanted poster looking like me. Walking my hound dog, surfing that swamp. Catching crow that do the sweetly stomp. Everybody do the sweetly stomp. It's a stomp. It's a wiggle, turn around, a little tickle. It's a stomp, move your feet, head on down to Sweet Leaf. Head on down to Sweet Leaf. Head on down to Sweet Leaf.
Dude, man, get on down to Sweet Leaf Emporium and do that Sweet Leaf stomp, man.
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
Kids, quiet down.
It's the best.
Kids, quiet down and listen to Kippy.
Grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit morbid.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get...
Whoa, Kippy, you can't...
Well, I was just going to say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like you
want
were
to
going
get
to
in trouble.
say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find them online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call them at 314-961-4800.
inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. I got 1,800 milligrams going real good down my throat. When I wake up in the morning and I need a pick-me-up, well, I grab my bottle of native hemp and I splash it on my tongue. Lap, lap, lap. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me.
Native hemp extract available at HoosierSophisticate.com. Enter code HOSO, H-O-S-O, at checkout for an additional 30% off. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient, artificial intelligence, flora and fauna alike, and fungi, to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. It's Monday night. Mondays are for the Hoosiers.
Math.
Excuse me.
Math.
How about Delta 8? What do you think about Delta 8?
I think pretty highly of Delta 8.
I think really highly of Delta 8. There's a couple of things I just really like about it. And I don't know what it is. I have a hard time staying kind of motivated on Delta 9 THC, and it's not a broadleaf versus narrow leaf. It's not an indica versus sativa thing. It's like just weed makes me spacey and lazy. It feels like, you know, and so Delta 8, like, it makes me feel all of the awesome things I love about Delta 9, but I'm only committed to it for like. Vaped, I'm only committed to it for like 40 minutes, you know, maybe an hour. Edibles, it's like what, I mean, first off, the way that it metabolizes, I have a great little buzz. It's completely legal. Although it should be said, I've seen a lot of people asking, yes, you can fail a drug test by taking Delta 8.
You absolutely will fail your drug.
It doesn't really care what it was when it went in, it comes out THC. So,
especially if you eat it.
So don't use it as like a way to skirt potential, drug tests or anything like that. But with that said, the dab lasts a good solid 4 minutes or so, 40 minutes or so for me.
Okay.
Now the edibles, you saw the first time. First off, the little sumbitches, the little first off, check out nativehempextract.com. And check out all of their deals. They got some unbelievable deals going on right now. If you enter code HOSO at checkout, you're going to get a significant discount. You can get Delta 8 shipped right to your door, or you can come into Sweet Leaf in Festus or in Farmington, and you can get it. And the thing is that these little bastards are just so tasty. They're like really legitimately like the yummies. Tastiest little gummy candy I've ever had. But the first time I tried it, I was given 4 in a bag, you know. Yeah. And I'm me, so I'm like, and one down the hatch, okay, cool. And then
oh, that's delicious.
Second one down the hatch, and then next thing you know, before I got home, I've consumed 4 of these, and I didn't actually know what the milligrams were at the time, which is always don't do that. Don't not know what you're eating. And so I ended up with about 100 milligrams of Delta 8 THC in me, and by the time I had headed down the road, I had realized that I was way more stoned than I ever signed up for. Matter of fact, I couldn't remember when I got high.
It was pretty funny. We were driving down the highway. I was in the passenger seat, and he looked at me. He's like, I think
she was driving, and I was in the passenger seat.
It was the Mini.
And
we were in the Mini. We were on our way to Alton.
It was the first time my wife drove a stick, and I was in the passenger seat. And then the next thing you know...
I was driving the stick for the first time.
Well, that stick.
That just made me emotionally uncomfortable.
Anyway, yeah, I was hired in pterodactyl titties for sure. Anywho, you know the one. Remember one of the first times I met your mom. I think I said I was hired in giraffe pussy, and I remember you looking at me like.
Yes, that did happen.
I thought I blew my chance with the woman of my dreams right there in that moment. I was like,
I was mortified, y'all.
And I knew once she didn't kick me out for that, then we were in great shape.
Jane's a great time. She knows how to have fun.
You were so high. Oh, Titty is who I think it is.
Is it?
I thought I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was.
Excuse me.
I thought it was Tiffany the first time that it
I
ever
did
came
too.
out,
I did too.
because that's
yes.
kind of her deal. But then I remember who said that. He was so excited about snagging that name before anybody else could.
Okay.
To be a part of the Hoosier Sophisticate, tribe with the name Titty. So hey-o! Yeah, I was super duper high. Nash on some cherry. I think you like the cherry. I like the pineapple or the strawberry. They're fucking delicious, man.
Nom noms.
They are fucking delicious.
Nom noms.
They're great. Anyway, I wanted to brag on I wanted to talk about Delta 8 a little bit. I feel it's like the greatest loophole ever. It's like the greatest loophole of anything ever.
Silly lawmakers.
You should jump on to nativehempextract.com and fill your cart with all kinds of stuff, and then enter code HOSO and get a significant discount. It's Brotado, and I'm still just as stoked about this name.
It's better.
Yeah. Do you know that was Titty that said that.
Very good.
Very good. Green apple's pretty good too. I've had a couple of them. I've tried the whole
I
spectrum.
haven't tried the green apple.
Pretty good.
Very good.
Not bad. I'm not a big cherry guy. I don't like cherry anything. It makes me think of medicine.
Not this cherry. It's a different kind of cherry.
You know the kind of cherries.
It's a better cherry.
You know the kind of cherries I rock with.
Yeah, that's a funny story. I have to be right back. Please excuse me.
Yeah, no sweat. My wife's gonna take off. I'll tell you guys a funny little story. I like a proper cocktail. I'm a fan of a proper cocktail. I like to make a mean little Manhattan or old fashioned, and typically I will have just top notch ingredients for everything. So I have these what are they called? Luxardo cherries. Okay, these cherries. Oh, have you ever had a Luxardo cherry? Have you ever had a Luxardo cherry? And if not, you should probably ask yourself why you don't love yourself well enough to have a Luxardo cherry. Luxardo cherries are what cherries, they're what God meant cherries to taste like. And so I remember I was out and about somewhere. I can't remember if I was, where the hell was I? I was out of town or something, and my wife was being super cute, and she's gonna love this as she's not sitting here, but she's just trying to keep the fire alive in our relationship. She was just teasing me while I was gone, and she started in on my cherries, guys. And I almost left her in that moment. She took that fucking jar of cherries, and we're talking like, a $25 jar of cherries. We're talking about a $25 jar of cherries. And I'm real excited to put one of these in my cocktail when I get home. And I remember, she sent me a picture of her, of her eating one. And I mean, I can suffer maybe one, maybe two. If you got me on a good day, I'm okay with you knocking down 2 of those cherries. But if you eat a whole jar of my Luxardo cherries, that's essentially you telling me that you in no way, shape, or form love or care about me. That's where I was at. So anyway, that's my wife. She's a cherry thief. You've already ruined me on plums, Craig. Hey, you tell me that you went and you found you a King Midas plum. Did you find a King Midas plum, Rachel Crawford? Have you guys ever had a King Midas plum? A little golden plum? You ever had one? Once you have a golden plum, first off, it'll make you believe in God again. Secondly, you're going to wonder just why the fuck you haven't been eating golden plums your whole life. Who was holding out on the golden plums? The hardest part for me was like a good ripe purple plum, like when you bite into it and that thing is like beet red, and it's just as sweet as the day is long. That thing was like, if there were just a whole spectrum of plums, right? On let's say there's 8 lanes wide and they're on a track and they're running a 100-meter dash. Okay. Now I love me a good ripe red fruit, deep purple plum. To me, that was just as a kid. I'd go to Soulard Market and a farmer's market, and I'd just I'd be finding just the best plums. It's the best thing ever. Well, I had a golden plum. It's like the golden plum. If they were running a 100-meter dash, it's like the golden plum crossing through the tape before the ripe plum is even halfway down the track. And all those bullshit plums that have probably been pre-frozen by Aldi before they brought them in, and that's why their produce is so cheap. They haven't even got out of the fucking blocks yet. The golden plum's about to lap these bastards, and they're only running a 100-meter dash. Golden plums are the shit. Whatever you fed us at your wedding. Did I have plums at my wedding? What the fuck did I feed you at my? How weird did we get at my wedding? This is getting hot because I don't even remember what I fed you freaks at my wedding. Replying to, let's see here. I was ruined on peaches the first time I had a Georgia peach in the peak of season. I get it. Christopher Rachel Crawford, I have one of the most delicious peach trees in my yard. I don't know what variety is, but dude, hook a brother up, Dennison. I love peaches. Millions of peaches. Peaches for me. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free. Look out. Anywho, oh, guys, I forgot. God damn it. I totally forgot. I wanted to talk about something here on the show that came to our attention. Is anybody familiar with Colorado? There we go. Familiar with Colorado and potentially any fun things to do at Colorado? I'm trying to find my mouse right now, and I'm having a hard time with it. There we go. Guys, a friend of the group, friend of the show, one of my favorite dudes in all of our page. Well, he asked a question. He says, hey, wife and I are heading out to Colorado, and I want to know kind of some fun things to do, right? And his name's Ryan Piccarella. Golly, look at the dumper on that dude. Looks like a couple of Volkswagens trying to pass one another on the highway. Look at that. Smuggling Easter hams. That dude is. Anyway, that guy, Ryan Piccarella, he wants to know what's something fun in Colorado. He doesn't know yet. He doesn't know yet where he's going to be in Colorado just yet. But he is going to be there. And, if anybody's got any great plans, they would blow up your TV, throw away your paper, go to the country, build you a home, plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try and find Jesus on your own. Brian Kessler, I was wondering how you were going to quote John Prine, but then I remembered that I pretty much burned all of the John Prine lyrics directly into your brain. This isn't necessarily about me, but he's going to come there with his wife and his new little girl. And so, it's worth, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about him tonight more than anything. This is how he comes to you, Hoosiers. Hat in hand. Except in this case, in hand means backwards on his head while he shows off all of his greatest assets. Anywho, I fucking love that guy. I don't know what he wants to do, but he made a post in there, and it's worth following up on that post to give him any great ideas that they have for Colorado. One of the things I want to talk to you guys about, one of the crazy things here that is going on. I teased it a little bit before the show started. Let me see here. Let me get over to this. Where's it at here? This was talking about Bigelow, Robert Bigelow. So he owned the Skinwalker Ranch. I believe he decided to sell that ranch to somebody else. But Las Vegas real estate mogul and CEO of space station module startup Bigelow Aerospace, Robert Bigelow, is offering up to $1 million in prizes for evidence of the survival of consciousness after permanent bodily death. Bigelow, a billionaire who has also raised eyebrows for investigating UFO sightings, recently founded the Bigelow Institute for Consciousness Studies to support research into what happens after we die. Through the Institute, Bigelow is now offering up prizes ranging from $150,000 to $500,000 for his new afterlife contest. According to the Times, probably a fool's errand, but also a modern probe into one of the most captivating questions of the human experience. To qualify for the prizes, contestants have to submit studies of up to 25,000 words before August 1st. A panel of judges made up of specialists will then pick the winner. Bigelow was in part inspired by readings with George Anderson, who claims to be the world's most scientifically tested medium. After his son and grandson died by suicide in 1992 and 2011, respectively. When asked if his son had made contact, Bigelow had a simple answer: not really. Bigelow told the Times, "But what I got out of the readings, I think, was that his spirit existed and that he was okay. But he does believe in consciousness surviving the death of the physical body. I'm personally totally convinced of it," Bigelow told the newspaper. What do you guys think? Anybody got an idea on how to prove to them that the soul, that our consciousness lives on without the body? I don't remember plums at my wedding, Rachel. I'm gonna made a whole speech about it. No, man, I don't think there was any plums there, babe. I have made speeches about plums. I've made speeches before about plums. I have talked about the power and beauty and deliciousness of the golden plum many times on this show because of an experience I had after a medicine ceremony in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. I have talked about it, but I don't believe there may have been plums at the wedding. It wasn't anything that I planned. It wasn't any plums that I was planning on. However, I'm sorry to blow you away. What do you guys think about potentially getting paid $1 million to figure out what it is that we, that what it is that happens after we die? Something kind of cool. I think with some of the minds in our group, we could probably put together a pretty captivating case for it. I don't think I want to know the answer. Number one, it ruins the surprise at the end. And number two, it defeats the purpose of the human experience. Angie said there were plums and they were delicious. There were probably plums. We had a bunch of fruit. So, I mean, there were probably plums there. So that's good. That's good. At least Rachel's not going completely crazy. It ruins the surprise at the end and it defeats the purpose of the human experience. So for me, I don't know how I would, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know how I would, why I am so convinced of what's going, of the afterlife or what is going to come of the afterlife. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I mean, other than the fact that I've just had an unbelievably powerful and truthful experience in that void. But it was very relaxing to me. So I feel like I don't feel like sometimes I think a glimpse of the infinite can make somebody nihilistic. And in this instance, I feel like it was exactly the opposite. Sometimes a glimpse of the infinite or a glimpse of the afterlife can really make you want to. It relieves so much of the anxiety attached to it being such an unknown question that you get to focus on just how precious and awesome it is to be alive and to be able to use this vehicle to experience this thing. And to me, I feel like I've also experienced both. I feel like I've seen kind of what happens on the other side, and when I came back, I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I really want to be around for much of this. But then I've had a equally healing experience where it gave shape and meaning to everything, and that I wanted to drink all of this in, and I wanted to do it with my friends, and I wanted to celebrate all of these things that made me human. Let's see here. First episode of Surviving Death on Netflix was great. It was near-death experiences, and the stories were crazy. I'll watch it tonight. Well, I mean, clearly, I'm just based on the total tirade I just went on about, but what are you going to do? I guess that's talking about the plumes. I can feel it down in my plumes. It would appear that Surviving Death is the name of that Grow Apes. Let's see here. Well, I want to watch that. Can't wait to watch it. Highly recommend. What is the show about? Sounds like surviving near-death experiences. If I had to guess. So, what else we got here? I did have a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about. There's a pretty concerted effort to crack down on Bitcoin, which I haven't checked my Cash App in a while to see where we're at, but I'm fairly certain that, let's see what it's at here, guys. It's about 32,510 at the moment. About 0.73% down from yesterday. Anywho, I am a huge fan of the idea of cryptocurrency because I am a huge fan of us having a currency that isn't controlled by any one particular government. Now, I think it presents a whole different set of problems, but, I think that not allowing governments to massively inflate money and, pump things up, I believe at least having a system in place that allows some of us to exit that a little bit and to kind of move our wealth. What is Hoosier Sophisticate show about? Hoosier Sophisticate started about, I think it'll be 4 years, May 4th. So about 3.5 years ago, we set out to. That's when we actually started on the radio, and before that, we were in the basement, and then before that, it was a different show entirely that I went and helped my buddy Steve with. Well, it was Steve's show, and he asked me on, and we talked about it, and that was called The Changing Station. And then from there, we started talking to parents who healed their kids with cannabis. And from talking to parents that healed their kids with cannabis, then we talked to people, veterans who were healing their, healing their traumas and things like that with cannabis and different plant medicines. And then we started interviewing people who had been thrown in jail for their better portion of their lives for having used cannabis. And so we realized that there was a theme where we were really enjoying talking about cannabis and talking about these psychedelic plant medicines and things like that, and talking about alternative healing modalities and finding ways to raise money for the community, that we ultimately got kicked off of sports talk radio, and then we went to the basement for a little while, and then from the basement we started covering the cannabis industry. And at the time, it was Show Me Cannabis that was fundraising in order to get Amendment 2 passed. So we started some conversations like that. Then we started doing a show from a float spa out in town and country. And so we were doing like these pre-float and post-float talks. And we were the owner was very gracious and basically donated a bunch of floats just to get a bunch of people trying it. And we did different kinds of. We did a deal for veterans and first responders and pregnant moms, and all of these. We kind of just tried to bring people along for the ride, and we were kind of trying to help sell it as this meditation on training wheels. And I'm still to this day such a huge fan of sensory depth floating. And so anyway, with all of that said, it's always just kind of been a show where we talk about weird stuff. Grow apes, and then a community was kind of built around it, and we started having a ton of events where this community would come together, and we built an online community based around love and understanding and open conversation and no censorship, and when somebody was acting like a jerk, then we were never going to get rid of it, get rid of that post. We were going to let it sit up there, and we're never going to censor any speech, and then you let people kind of stand by their words or ultimately decide if they want to take it down. And so, yeah, it kind of has morphed into a real family atmosphere, and every now and then, one will slip through the cracks or something like that. But for the most part, we have set a tone in the Sophisticated Hoosiers fan page of love and also a healthy love for the dick joke, the art of the dick joke, and also, being able to tell these sophomoric jokes while doing some really powerful healing for people and helping people realize their best case selves and supporting one another's small businesses and finding out families with kids with cancer and finding ways to get money to them and get medicine to them. And so it's hard to kind of say what Hoosier Sophisticate is entirely. But it's just kind of been a place where we can have some conversations about stuff that you couldn't find on really any of the regular radio stations. And we started as a radio show. I think I might actually look back to, excuse me, to potentially broadcasting the radio show. And it was just a way to. It was something to rally around. We rallied around plant medicines. That's pretty much the way that I would would put it out there, and then from there it kind of took off into this whole separate direction where it meant a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and so we just kept trying to pour our cups into that as much as we could and make it as good as possible. Iran blames Bitcoin for a massive electric grid blackouts. Iran's capital of Tehran and several other Iranian cities have experienced major blackouts over the past few weeks, exacerbating an already serious phase of the coronavirus pandemic. Within days, the government decided to crack down on an unusual culprit for the power grid troubles: Bitcoin miners. The government shut down some 1,600 cryptocurrency centers across the country, including legally operating ones. These operations use warehouses full of industrial machinery to crunch numbers and solve algorithms, an energy-intensive process more popularly known as cryptocurrency mining. Critics, however, argue that Bitcoin simply became the Iranian regime's scapegoat for not only the blackouts but for rising air pollution as well, and that far more evasive problems are lingering under the surface. For one, a sanctions clampdown by Trump in 2018 led to cryptocurrencies become the de facto means of making global payments. Iranians understand the value of such a borderless network much more than others because we can't access any kind of global payment networks. Bitcoin expert in Tehran said. Bitcoin shines there. Adding to Bitcoin's success story is the fact that electricity is heavily subsidized in Iran. Cheaper energy means higher profit margins for miners. And that inevitably led to illegal mining operations the government is now trying to stamp out with police raids. But is Bitcoin really to blame? Mining cryptos only accounts for less than 2% of the country's energy usage, according to the AP's reporting. Bitcoin was an easy victim here. Kava Madani, former deputy head of Iran's Department of Environment, told the AP. That's kind of impressive. Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. So we're seeing all kinds of top Biden appointee suggest that we crack down on Bitcoin. She says they're using it for illicit financing and that the government should curtail their use. This has been the the issue kind of all along with governments being even pretending to get involved in cryptocurrency. The idea of cryptocurrency is to go around these governments. Now, with that being said, when you have investment firms and things like that that are then speculating in crypto, that means that they're allowed to do all of the things that, like, the regulation that the government set up doesn't allow them to do, like pump and dump. And it's really easy to do to run up the cost.
What does pump and dump mean?
You're running up the price of a currency or a stock, right? It's not legal by SEC standards, but in this instance, before it was regulated, you could create a bunch of news around a coin. You could then buy up the coin so that it starts rising in value, and as a bunch of people get onto that bandwagon and start to ride this rocket, you dump out all of your stock, and then the bottom drops out of it. But you essentially took as much profit out of as you could, and you keep doing this whole thing. You make it falsely rally, and so a lot of these bigger institutions with huge capital would be able to move in huge markets with the amount of money that they have, because it is tethered to real currency, right? So, and most honestly. Many of you might not know much about cryptocurrency, but if you have a 401k or a retirement plan, some of your money is going into a fund. And if not, you should, it probably already is, whether you know about it or not. But if your financial advisor doesn't have at least some kind of small cryptocurrency fund worked into your retirement, that probably needs to be addressed. Anywho, I'm not an investment, advisor.
You have a pretty good grasp.
I'm not an investment advisor, but that it's just something to kind of cover your bases on it. But anyway, so there's a real problem with governments trying to crack down on this. I talked about the Parler thing a little bit.
What's the consequence of governments cracking down on this?
Oh, well, let's find out. Early signs suggest that the Biden White House might be tougher on cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin than the Trump or Obama administrations. Janet Yellen, Biden's nominee for Secretary of the Treasury, emphasized crypto's role in illegal transactions and money laundering during her confirmation during this week, according to Business Insider. According to a question about terrorists funded through Bitcoin, Yellen said that cryptocurrencies are a particular concern and that the government should impose new restrictions on how cryptocurrency can be used. Now, pause. What the fuck do they think they've been paying fucking hitmen and terrorists with before? Fiat currency, government currencies, like they weren't electronic transactions. They were fucking paying them cash, which is backed by far less than cryptocurrency is.
Because the Army paid for $15,000 toilets and $800 hammers, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like that's a crazy thing. The grand promise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is that they provide an alternative financial system to centralized, powerful banks and federal governments. Of course, that presents an idealized version of crypto, which mostly exists in the mainstream as an investor's plaything rather than a useful form of currency. It's not true. But the blockchain tech behind Bitcoin also provides a way to buy illegal drugs and weaponry. Oh, not illegal drugs. Not illegal drugs. We wouldn't want anybody giving people any kind of money or cryptocurrency for drugs on their own accord to be taken a home alone in the confines of their own private property that they pay taxes on every year just to be allowed to continue to own. We wouldn't want that.
You seem like you have an opinion about that.
To buy illegal drugs and weaponry, as well as move wealth around to avoid scrutiny. Which, again, why is that a problem? Why is moving wealth around to avoid scrutiny?
Maybe he meant to say, I don't want them to move my wealth around.
Which seems to be the reason Yellen is taking aim. Yellen said that in order to prevent terrorists from using crypto, are we tired of hearing about terrorists yet? Are we fucking tired of that fear the cheap-ass fucking fear thing that they're selling? It's so boring. Watching The Boys, I'll tell you, watching The Boys, like, I was already, like, way past, like, gag me with the spoon every time someone said the word terrorist, especially when they lived in the middle of fucking nowhere, Missouri, as if fucking Al-Qaeda's going to target...
I know quite a few terrorists in the middle of Missouri.
Al-Qaeda's going to fucking target Casey's in fucking DeSoto or something. Come on. Anyway, Let's see here. From using crypto to fund their operations, the federal government would need to update and modernize the way it handles cryptocurrencies, according to Business Insider, especially regarding how it scrutinizes crypto transactions. Cryptocurrencies are a particular concern. I think many are used, at least in a transaction sense, mainly for illicit financing. Yellen said at the Tuesday hearing, and I think we really need to examine ways in which we can curtail their use and make sure that money laundering doesn't occur through those channels. Yeah, whatever. You fucking self-important fart sniffer. Like, whatever. You're such a dork. I'm so tired of these dorks. Anyway, what else was I going to talk to you about,
Sorry,
baby?
I missed a few minutes. I apologize.
That's okay.
But
I was
where are we
actually,
at on the list?
I was telling how you, I'm kind of, I think maybe, I think we talked about all of it. Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's the other side of the paper with the rest of the list.
Oh, Hoosier Pet of the Week. We haven't talked about it.
Very good.
But I did tell him all about how you ate my Luxardo cherries. And then
I'm not sorry. I took a selfie and sent him a picture when he was out with his friends.
I think
I
Craig
ate the
is
whole jar.
gaslighting. I was gaslighting Janet Yellen for sure. Maybe. I think maybe I was. Grow Apes is hosted as an online store with licensing services, seed banks, and private chat rooms. We're looking to open a store in Manchester, Missouri in the summer. Cool. Let us know how that goes, and
welcome to the family.
We'll check out what you got going on. Anyway, so I told them that you were like sending me. I was away on business or something.
You were away on business.
I can't remember what I was doing, but you were sending me explicit pictures with those gosh darn cherries, and I told them, I said,
I was trying to get wifed up, y'all. I do not apologize.
I will suffer you eating one cherry. I can maybe even go for you eating two cherries, but you eating the whole jar.
It was an $18.
24.
Okay. It was a very expensive jar of cherries, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
I do not regret it, and I would do it again. 5 stars. Highly recommend.
Clearly, I didn't teach you your lesson.
I think.
All right.
I think I'm the one who got what I wanted.
You got a pretty good idea here, babe. Because it's one of the things that everybody loves to talk about their pets. You especially. You're a cat mom, right?
I'm a cat mom. I have 2 cat babies. Their names are Cicely and Paris, and I love them.
Yeah, they're pretty great. I like them too.
And it sounds like we named them after cities, but we didn't, and we did.
Well, we didn't, but it's kind of
we're going to talk about our pet, aren't we? It's a great story.
Listen, here's what we want.
He loves the cats.
We want you to email in to HoosierSophisticate@gmail.com. Email in the best picture or video of your pet. We're going to feature...
With the cutest story,
because
we want to go...
feature Hoosier pets on the show.
Lucky Abe, I'm talking to you, sir.
Yeah, he's got all the pets.
He's got so many pets.
He's like Dr. Doolittle.
He is. He's like Dr. Dad Doolittle. He's a great dad.
She knew how to get what she wanted, or maybe you did teach her a lesson. That jar, I'm sure, was so worth it.
It was so good. I like take $25 and go buy a jar of cherries and get really medicated and enjoy your cherries.
Sure.
Bonus points if you send pictures to your person.
Yeah, I mean that was fun. I mean I'm certainly not complaining. I mean I kind of am.
Like imaginary bonus points for street cred.
I was only miffed whenever I went to make like a proper cocktail and like the one ingredient that's just that is going to make this right.
Just buy them in bulk.
And it's not something that you can just it's not something you can just go and grab at any old store.
It's definitely not.
They're not selling this at Schnucks.
For fancy.
You got to go to a fucking a liquor store.
Yeah, you got to go to Randall's in the city.
You got to go to Randall's or whatever, Friar Tuck's or something. Yeah. I think I got those actually from the Brown Derby down in Springfield.
Yeah.
And
those traveled to a different city from me.
Yeah, for sure they did. This harlot, this Jezebel ate all of my damn cherries. Anywho, send us pictures of your pets.
I want to see pictures of your pets, and I want to hear their really cute little stories.
2-pack of Luxardo cherries for $30 at Walmart. Fuck yourself. Are you serious? I'll go there right now. Or is that online? It's online. I don't think they got. They
still a very.
They don't have
$30
$30 cherries at the DeSoto Walmart, Jack, or Festus. All right, I promise you. I've looked. Send pictures in of your cat, your dog, your lizard,
your snake.
See, if it was me, I
Llama.
would send you a picture of my ocelot.
Bunnies. He doesn't have an ocelot.
I don't have an ocelot yet, but I'm going to have an ocelot.
He wants to have a pet that could potentially actually hurt us. I guess dogs are always kind of a threat too, aren't they?
Yeah, fuck yeah, they are, those little bastards. You know what's crazy is how much I loved dogs as a kid, and how much living where I lived has made me really have a hard time liking dogs anymore.
There are, and please, I know we have a couple of people in the group that have chihuahuas, and they love their chihuahuas, but I think the general consensus is everybody is afraid of pit bulls when they should really be afraid of chihuahuas. They're angry, you guys.
Well, chihuahuas are far more aggressive.
They're mean.
That's for darn sure.
We have 6 chihuahuas on our block, and that is no exaggeration.
That's right.
And they get out all the time, and they're always everywhere. Is that Ryan Piccarella's butt? You got a nice tuchus, sir.
Dude, he's got a dumper on him. He's got a real dumper
The
on him.
file for this picture on Craig's computer says Piccarella's dumper.
It says Piccsy dumper. The guy just wants to know what to do in
That's a
Colorado,
nice
and if
ass.
that doesn't get your attention, then fucking nothing will.
I'm not sure what that picture has to do with Colorado, but it did get
Well,
our attention.
he said he and his family were going to Colorado, and I need your Hoosiers, I need your help. And so he put that out there, and by God,
Did they help him?
it at least got him to stop scrolling on the damn
Certainly got me to
news
stop
feed.
scrolling.
Got me to stop scrolling. With a shitter on that critter, man. Look at that guy.
Good for you, sir.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Deadlifts all day.
Hang on a second. Anywho, I don't know. I'm having fun. Send pictures in of your pet to Hoosier Sophisticate at gmail.com.
If your butt is nicer than Ryan Piccarella's,
Also send
please
pictures
send
of
pictures
your
of
butt. To Hoosier Sophisticate at
I'm
gmail.com.
not into the dick pics so much, but I love a good
No,
dick
but
pic.
we do have
love a
new
good-
morning instructions. We'll get to that tomorrow. If you at the end of our show tomorrow, we have special instructions for all of the Hoosiers that tune in.
If you're a true Hoosier.
But you can't. We're not going to tell you until tomorrow. You got to tune in tomorrow.
Last week, only 2 people participated, and I was one of them, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah,
in
it was
you all.
disappointing. I actually forgot to. So I'm one of the bad ones. I didn't.
We have a special game we're going to play.
I didn't do my duty, so, you know,
duty.
We got a duty. Okay. So, one thing here, real quick. This was an article that I thought you and I could kind of get in the weeds a little bit, because there's this CEO of a gaming company, and we've talked about on the show in the past, Elon Musk. And the neural network that they're going to have that hooks into the brain, right? That maps the brain. And this is where we, thanks for the 2 black dicks, says Brian Kessler. That's a great turd cutter, says also Brian Kessler. It is a nice little turd cutter on him, man. No doubt.
So, Brian, the picture that I sent you, when I was talking about sending it to you, I opened Google and I looked up that specific genre of picture. And I blushed.
Only by the acronym, only by the abbreviation, though.
Yeah,
I think you just
the network.
typed in BBC.
I did type in BBC.
And
holy
boy,
mother
howdy.
of pearl.
Boy, howdy.
That one that I sent you, I'm pretty sure has its own social security number.
Well, it's definitely got its own zip code. Brain interfaces will allow us to edit our feelings.
What could go wrong?
The CEO of legendary gaming company Valve, Gabe Newell. Now, Valve, babe, I will explain to you, was a very big part of like my teen to early 20s. Valve made Steam, which is now this thing where everybody can go and download games online, but they made the game Counter-Strike. That's just a little sidebar.
So, fun fact about our relationship, Craig often has to give me information on weird types of media and stuff, because I didn't really watch TV until I was in my 30s or play video games at all. I was pretty much a
no
bookworm,
sweat.
So I don't know any movies and stuff like that. It's kind of lame.
His company is working on a brain-computer interface headset that could make video games more immersive than ever. In an interview with New Zealand News, the CEO has been spending time on the island nation during the pandemic. Newell argued that eyes were created by this low-cost bidder that didn't care about failure rates and return merchandise authorizations, and if it got broken, there was no way to repair anything effectively, which totally makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. but it's not at all reflective of consumer preferences. Okay, I'm not really sure.
How is that relevant to
I'm
the-
not really 100% sure here.
Okay.
So the visual experience, the visual fidelity we'll be able to create, the real world will stop being the metric that we apply to the best visual fidelity. In other words, what we see, I would liken it to this. What we see as reality isn't necessarily the best case scenario of what we can see. Think Avatar. Like, think of the world that exists in Avatar.
Okay.
Right? Okay. The real world will seem flat, colorless, blurry compared to the experiences you'll be able to create in people's brains.
I got news for him. You don't have to become a computer to do that.
Yeah,
guys.
there's all kinds of stuff that'll allow you to see that. Valve's collaborating
Those
with
are special tools for
OpenBCI,
later.
a biosensor hardware company, on what Newell referred to as an open source project so that everybody can have high resolution brain signal read technologies built into headsets. With such a headset, reality could get real trippy. Where it gets weird is when who you are becomes editable through an interface. Our ability to create experiences in people's brains that aren't mediated through their meat peripherals will be better than is possible. The technology could allow users to edit not only what they see, he said, but their feelings and emotions as well. For instance, Newell argued such a headset could lead to improved sleep. Further down the line, other unwanted feelings could be edited out or totally removed. A sci-fi age form of therapy. In the end, he doesn't believe this technology will be flooding the market overnight, not the least because of security concerns. Nobody wants to say, oh, remember Bob? Remember when Bob got hacked by the Russian malware? That sucked. Is he still running naked through the forests or whatever? So yeah, people are going to have a lot of confidence that these are secure systems that don't have long-term health risks. The emergence of a marketable device for the masses, however, is still many years out, even for Valve. What do you think about that? What do you think about being able to reprogram your emotions?
I'm about to get real Missy Bliss on you guys for a
Yeah,
second here.
girl, gonna do it.
Don't do it. You already have a way to hack your emotions and your sleep and your life. You already have a way to edit emotions and the self. It's called meditation.
Yeah, it's I mean,
we already
it's
have this
coming.
technology.
It's coming,
but
dude.
you have to work for it. People want to be handed that little pill that does everything for them. Put your ass on the mat. If you need to edit your emotions, sit down on a meditation mat. Get serious about your life.
I'm with it.
That's how I feel about it.
I understand.
Also,
I'm with it.
who are these first? We have a couple of friends who I know would be like, count me in.
Oh, I think I know a bunch of kind of technologists or futurists.
Yeah.
That would be on it. But I'll tell you what, like, you haven't even watched my favorite show with me, which is Black Mirror, because you're delicate and precious.
No, I am delicate and precious, and I will have nightmares.
But
and I
like
can't do it.
literally,
I watched a portion of the one with the I think a princess and a pig or something.
Oh, that's the very first episode. That's a weird
much.
one. That one was. I couldn't believe that they decided to start the series with that. And I won't give anything away.
I'm still not
but-
okay.
Yeah, that one's fucked up. But what's weird about that one? that was
and
a
I
glimpse
also watched excuse me.
No.
I also watched the one where you could rate your friends.
Yeah, that's the best one. Well, that was the one that brought me to it. It's not the best one, but that was the one that brought me to it. And what was interesting about that is each one of them, right, is the idea of the show is that it's a black mirror on society. And so all of the technologies,
I get it.
you know, are imagined to their worst possible case scenario, right?
And it's happening.
And there's actually a couple of them that are kind of happy endings, you know.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's like all fucking Twilight
Dystopian.
Zone,
Yeah.
Twilight Zone shit. And for them to have started that so that first one was a matter of, you know, basically leveraging social media and reality TV, right? It was like this idea that it was going to focus all of the cameras on the prime minister and make him do something very
a la Truman Show.
a little bit, but it was going to make, well, it was basically making a threat. It was a hostage situation that was going to put the prime minister in a very tough spot in order to save one of the royals. But what it meant was this person was going to, they were forcing the government to do this thing. Anyway, so that was kind of interesting. But as far as how it looks at technology on the whole, it's like each one of these is a standalone, like, hey, you know that new burgeoning technology that's coming out of here? Well, let's imagine it to its worst case scenario. So then there's like one where it's like a bunch of people riding exercise bikes to power this big tower that they live in.
Yeah.
And they live in these rooms in the tower, and the entire room, 360 degrees, is a screen. And the screen's playing all the time, and it's always it's throwing ads up, pop-up ads all the time, and you have to pay to make the ads go away.
Yeah.
But what you're paid, the currency that you have, is the work that you put in on the exercise bike, and it doesn't keep up with inflation. And there's like it's all of these crazy different scenarios. This right here, there is an episode almost exactly like it, and actually, you watched a different show, Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, with me. And it was
enjoyed it very much.
That's why I think you would actually get into Black Mirror because it was kind of the similar type deal.
Just to kind of put a pin in this, don't you think it's a really responsible way to approach manufacturing technologies? Like, what's the worst thing humanity can do with this?
100 million
I think
%.
I
And then try and
appreciate that.
safeguard against it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
decide not to create the product.
Or decide
if
not
it's
to
too
make
bad,
it all
right.
together, for
I'm
sure.
sorry, please continue.
No, yeah, so that one was like there was a gal where they would take these vacations with this neural net, and when she would go inside of that, she was convinced that was reality, and she was a guy and she was living a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And then when he would put it on, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, and that was his escape, and that was reality, and it was like constantly wondering which one was actually reality, and if you took the unit off here or if you died inside of this one, what would it do to the other one?
Right.
Fucked up. That's what they're essentially fascinating. It's a great thought experiment. That's essentially what they're dealing with here. Like, I think that what could be with us wearing these things could be it would be maybe offer one of the coolest visions of the future ever, and also it would be a complete sacrifice or letting go of whatever it is that makes you.
So this reminds me of the movie our kids watched. It's called Ready Player One.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, totally.
So is that, potentially could help a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, right? Like if maybe somebody was paraplegic and they wanted to run again, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there might be conditions where it could make sense to me. But mostly, I think that we should try to take care of ourselves as much as possible before we begin cutting and slicing and splicing the sophisticated.
Well,
brain we're
I guess because of some of the work I've done, I can't imagine wanting to hack my emotions.
It's like
with
digital shamanism.
Yeah, but it is. But it's not, because it doesn't require that person who's experiencing it to do any kind of work.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what they're saying, right? They're saying it was digital therapy. It was tech therapy, where they could essentially. Now, I would be interested to see if it could have lasting effects. In other words, the people that are maybe perhaps schizophrenic, or in different mental institutions,
definitely,
or debilitating depression, like treatment-resistant depression, like we've seen in some of the psychedelic documentaries.
Yeah.
If you could take someone like that and unprogram that, so that they could realize their best, so they could see a different picture of what would be reality to them in that moment.
Sure.
That might actually be a really interesting
That's
tool.
what I'm saying. Like,
but I mean,
if I was in an accident and I could never. Like, just think about if we want to get a little Hoosier on it, just think about the porn, right? Like, a lot of wonderful things could come of that. You could really help a lot of people.
For sure.
Just be pretty kinky, I suppose. That's valuable, isn't it? And I think porn leads the technology industry, doesn't it?
Most of it, yeah. Porn and weapons, porn and military. I mean, sex and fighting is what drives all of our technology.
What drives all of evolution.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part, which makes sense, right?
Cool. Well, I'm not going to be doing it, but I will watch y'all do it.
Yeah, I'm sure I could find some pretty good applications for it.
Do you know what I would do, though?
What's that?
I would upload my consciousness. It's like the only thing that I'm comfortable with, and it makes me weird. It feels a little weird how comfortable I am with uploading my consciousness.
I used to think I maybe would.
Okay.
But then I had this idea of, if it's not a copy of your consciousness, then I'm afraid that my consciousness would get trapped. in a machine.
I hate to break it to you,
Oh,
darling.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm pretty sure your consciousness is trapped inside of
I'm with you, but I just don't know. I don't know what I would have to.
I mean,
gain.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I don't know what I would have to gain from that.
What would you have to lose, though? Possibly
not
reincarnation.
not being able to
not being
come
free.
back, not being free, not being able to allow my consciousness to do what it's done since the beginning.
If it was
of
a
time.
hellscape or something, but what if it was heaven and it didn't matter?
Watch Altered Carbon and you'll change your mind on that, Missy. Yeah, Altered
will.
Carbon's another one of those too.
I haven't seen it. Will you
we'll watch
send me
it.
a
It's on
link?
Netflix.
I probably won't remember.
I'll
Please send
remember
to
it.
me.
It's something I've been wanting to watch, but because of its proximity to kind of what Black Mirror is, but if you like Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, you'd probably. I mean,
I did like it.
You've
It
got
was
some.
really
I
interesting.
just need to find the. I need to find the
acting
ones
was
that are
great,
good for you.
and it was good.
It was
well done.
I'll tell you what. I need you to just be here for I've got a couple of Black Mirrors that I think you'll really, 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 really like, and they're not creepy and scary. They're not.
Okay, but if I have a nightmare, you got to wake up and sit up with me all night.
I will do that.
Okay, fair.
I will do that.
Fair enough.
All right. Cool. Cool. For real?
No fucking way.
Come on,
No.
man.
Tell me, the last time I watched a scary movie.
But it's not scary. This one's actually it's
straight
a
up-
happy ending one.
The last time I watched a scary movie was Paranormal Activity.
Oh well, that's fucked. That's fucked.
That
yeah,
was
that's
enough?
not. That's not
That
smart.
is enough.
That's not smart.
I've seen all I need to see.
That'll scare you out of your little britches.
It did scare me out of my britches.
That'll scare you out of your little
It
britches.
scared me into the comfort of romantic comedies.
Yeah. And New Girl.
And New Girl.
New Girl's really funny.
Thanks, Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, I'm a New Girl fan.
I love it.
Schmidt's one of the funny. Actually,
Schmidt's one of my favorite characters.
So Schmidt's
that have
one of the
ever been
great
written.
characters, but I'll tell you what. In the later seasons, Winston's kind of the
Winnie is the best. Winnie the Bish.
Winnie's
The
pretty
real
great.
ones know.
But straight up, Nick's kind of just great the whole time.
Nick is great the whole time.
He's great the whole time through. Nick's awesome.
The only character I really am not a fan of is Cece, and I think it's because the actress that plays her poorly.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a very emotive character, but she's a model, and she's surrounded by airhead models, but they try to make her seem a little more deep, and it just it doesn't translate well. But she's stunningly beautiful. I've seen her in other
gal
things.
that Cece.
Cece, and I've seen her in other things, and she's done really, really well. And so I feel like maybe she was directed that way, but I'm just not a fan of that character. But everybody else is great, and Coach, wonderful, funny.
Coach is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be hard to be Coach because I mean, when your dad is just like,
He's doing just fine.
he's better looking than his pop.
Say it again. His mom is beautiful.
But dude, but Damon Wayans was like, man, he was the funniest thing ever when I was a kid. He was the funniest. I thought he
all
was
of the
just
Wayans are funny.
all of the Wayans are
and they
great.
have a niece.
But I love.
They have a
Damon's,
niece
though.
that's a Wayans. That's a stand-up comic, and she's really funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she makes it pretty public that she's not trying to
Use her name.
Use her name. You
Okay,
know,
well,
and I
that's
think
fair.
that's to her detriment because it's her name.
Yeah, because why aren't you starting the new and
It's
living color?
literally
What's the matter
your
with you?
birthright. So
Yeah, what's
go
the
do
matter
the
with
thing.
you? Go do
But
the
I
thing,
get it.
dude. You look great on camera, babe.
Do I?
I think you do. Hey, you know, one thing I've talked about with it was kind of crazy to see the date on it, but I replayed a psychedelic scrapbook from. It was actually from February of last year, so we're coming up on a year of it. But
okay,
it was talking about
coming up in a hot minute, huh?
Yeah, it was talking about how DMT causes neurogenesis.
Yes.
And
Thanks,
then
DMT.
our friend Tiffany, posted in the group today that there was a study, I believe, from Medical News today. The psychedelic drug triggers growth of new brain cells in mice. Now, we talked about how it was, I think this was in an ayahuasca study, but the presence of DMT showed neural nodes firing, basically, and then with DMT with harmine showed more, and then DMT
What is
with
harmine?
Harmaline. Brain science, man. I
Gotcha.
don't know. No, there's harmine.
I know.
And
I actually know
harmaline.
quite a bit about brain science, but
harmine and harmaline.
once we get down to the new, I know older sciences pretty well, but the new sciences are so freaking fascinating.
Harmine is a beta carboline and a harmala alkaloid. It occurs in a number of different plants, most notably Syrian rue. So this is what would be what we would know as an MAOI. a monoamine oxidase inhibitor.
Yes.
So DMT is present in so much in the plant kingdom.
DMT
right?
is present in everything.
all
in the plant
mammals, all mammals.
Kingdom. Yeah.
But in a lot of plants, so much so that like
Are there plants
if
that
we,
lack DMT?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there
there
are
are.
some.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Excuse me.
But it occurs in a number of different plants, most notably Syrian rue, Banisteriopsis copy. Harmine reversibly inhibits monoamine oxidase, so that's.
And so this is the chemical that does what to DMT?
Now, what this does is it makes it bioavailable. So our body, the acids in our body would break down any kind of DMT before it could metabolize and help us see anything visually. That's why vaporizing DMT is such a much different experience than drinking an ayahuasca brew or something like that, because
Okay.
you're asking your body to process it in a way that
I have no
is
experience.
not the most efficient.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
but with all of that being said, so DMT when like introduced, like there was some growth, and then DMT with the harmine showed brain centers firing kind
Which
of all
is
over the
why,
place.
Old dude painted himself in Syrian rue on his documentary.
Yeah. And then you have harmaline, which is a fluorescent indole alkaloid from the group of alkaloids and beta-carbolines. It's the partially hydrogenated form of harmine. So essentially doing the same thing.
Okay.
And harmine and harmaline both kind of showed the same kind of growth. And what you're seeing is like all of these little light centers. You're looking at a brain scan, and it was like all of these blue dots on it.
Yeah.
And I can play this again. I actually might have it loaded into the system. I can play it here in a minute. Would kind of represent new neuron growth, right?
Okay.
And then when it was introduced DMT, like these lights go up everywhere.
Yeah.
And then DMT with harmine, like almost, I mean, it was, then they added the harmine, they said were green lights. Now you got blue and green lights everywhere.
Okay.
And then with the harmalines, and that's all neuron growth. And with the harmalines, it was red. So it was blue, green, red. These dots were lighting up everywhere. And they're showing that these were neurons. It was the genesis of neural activity in the brain from taking these.
Was there one part of the brain that was affected more
I don't
than
know on
another?
that. I don't know on that.
I'd be interested to see.
I would be interested to see in that as well.
Like maybe if it's just the creative side, or maybe if it's the reticular activating system.
I'm not sure on that, but you know, having gone to when we went to Michigan last year and a half ago for the psychedelic conference, having talked to a couple of researchers. And actually, I wonder if this isn't maybe them that are doing it, but a couple of researchers mapping endogenous DMT in the body. All of us have hypothesized that DMT is produced in the pineal gland,
right?
What we know is the third eye. And so they were like, okay, well, we're gonna map how much how much is in there with it,
okay,
and then how much is in there without it.
Yeah,
and so. All of the test subjects that they removed the pineal gland had significantly more DMT in their blood than the ones that did have the pineal gland, which was like this mind-blowing discovery. So it didn't necessarily say where it was produced, but they could ascertain that it wasn't produced at mass or wasn't necessary for production of DMT in the blood, the pineal gland. Okay, so.
Do you think upon maybe trauma, the removal of the gland itself, maybe the body
potentially
has like a backup system?
Potentially, they think that it that
because
most of it's made in the gut
particle, and we have to get back to the God particle.
Yeah, they think most of it's made in the gut.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Which makes perfect sense.
Okay.
But anywho, so they just know that it wasn't necessarily, it didn't take the pineal gland for production. Upon hearing that, like my hypothesis would be that it's still in accordance with the pineal gland, kind of trying to figure out what its function is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably regulates DMT or helps process it in the brain. Because what they can't map in these rats is like what's visually happening.
Right.
I mean, they might be fucking on one now that they're just a never-ending DMT.
They could see that the visual centers would be altered in
the
brain. They
I
could
would
see
think
that,
so.
For
yeah,
sure.
for sure. Anywho, so Tiffany posted this in our group today, and it's psychedelic drug triggers growth of new brain cells in mice. Research in mice has found that N,N-dimethyltryptamine, and I am just realizing now. Yeah. I cannot scroll through that at the moment until I go over.
Anyway, so what we
Here we
learned.
go.
Oh, good.
Research
Very
in
good.
mice has found that N,N-dimethyltryptamine DMT, one of the active ingredients of the psychedelic tea ayahuasca, can spark the creation of new nerve cells and improve spatial learning and performance in memory tasks. Oh, you guys are going to do that to me, huh? The scientists behind the new study speculate that the drug would have... You know what? Let me do this. Oh, baby.
Careful now.
The scientists behind the new study speculate the drug could serve to treat neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Neurodegenerative diseases involve the progressive loss of nerve cells in the affected parts of the brain, or, in some cases, in other locations of the nervous system. One way to reverse the damage might be to restore the capacity to produce new nerve cells, which is known as neurogenesis. The generation of most nerve cells in the human body take place before birth. However, some studies suggest that the creation of new neurons is possible in adulthood, though other researchers have disputed the findings. This is interesting to me.
It's very interesting.
Because, and I want to encourage everybody to go over to the Sophisticated Hoosiers page. Tiffany Jones posted this. Psychedelic drug triggers growth of new brain cells in mice. I will post it in...
Hi, Tiff.
I will post it in our Discord server as well. If you guys aren't a part of the Discord, go check out Hoosier Sophisticate Discord.
I was in Discord, but it was even a little much for me.
It was. Why? Was it because of the boobies?
And other things.
What else was there?
I'm not naming anybody's names because we don't kink shame in this family. But there were quite a few, it's funny because I have a really raunchy personality, sense of humor, but I'm as a person, I'm quite modest, and it, every now and then I get a little too much.
Okay, fair enough.
For me.
But the nice thing about Discord is that all of the discussions are kind of, they're all put in a certain place. So if you want to have a sex conversation or just see a nice little GIF, potentially hardcore
But
GIF.
I'm me, so I always want to see the sex conversation, and then
So that can be happening there. There's also Cannabis
I
Fun
get
Time,
cat.
Cannabis Q&A conversation,
Cannabis
a
Fun
psychedelics conversation. There's a trivia channel if you want to jump in and play some trivia.
Cool.
There is
I haven't
just
been in
the
a long time. I'll
general
go back.
knowledge. It's been a while since I've been in there too, but it's a lot of fun over there. The pineal gland acts as a liaison of sorts for the brain, balancing the left and right hemispheres. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I don't know any different until told otherwise. Fair enough. Modest with a dash of spicy dick jokes. Yeah, there's a fair little dash of dick jokes.
So it's kind of funny that in my house we have a 13-year-old son right now, and he and I laugh at the same time to the same jokes in the same way. And I fully realize that I'm just there's a 13-year-old boy living inside of me somewhere.
I love
that
it.
Really likes funny things. I like funny things.
You like funny things? And dicks, jokes, dick jokes.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, babe, I don't know. It's been fun.
Sorry, I missed so much. I feel like it went really fast. Yeah.
It's okay. It did go very quickly.
Yeah.
2 hours is incredibly, yeah. Oh, very good, very good, very good. Thanks for keeping notes, darling.
I got you.
So in the mornings, we do a show from. What do you still want to do 7 to 10? You want to do 8 to 10? What do you want to do? 7:30 to 10? You want to do 7 to 9? What do you do? We can do anything we want.
69.
Guys, I gotta go. So
I had to. You just lined it up so perfectly.
Nice.
Okay, we can do whatever you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. Tune in around 7:30 tomorrow, and we'll have a good. We'll figure it out. We're gonna establish something. I can't stop thinking about numbers. So with that being said, we're gonna keep having a conversation every morning to just a place for the Hoosiers to hang.
We love you
while
guys.
It's all good. We love you guys so much.
I miss all of you. Hug each other for me. If you're cute, grab your tush a little bit.
Yeah, do that. Even if you're not cute, grab your ass. Squeeze your titties. Do whatever you got to do.
Titty.
We have a morning show. We have a morning show Tuesday through Friday. Call it 7 to 10. And actually, I believe that Kyle Kisner's coming in tomorrow to talk about Fico oil in the third hour, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that to be true. So he just heard us talking about Fico, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to come riff about Fico.
He's a really smart guy.
He's a really smart guy. And so we will, point is, what I was getting at is that if you have a business or you have something close to your heart that you want to talk about or bring to the community's attention, we have a third hour that I think we are just going to do every day but Wednesday, because that's our Wednesdays are dedicated to Makate. But if you reach out to us, you can come and feature your small business on here for an hour. We can take some Q&A on what you do. You can talk about some art that's moving you, or something that's maybe a charitable cause that's close to your heart. We want to make that third hour just kind of a celebration of the group.
Mostly because, it's easy to sit here in front of the camera and smile and say, oh, we do such great things. But it's different when we fully recognize that you guys are the ones
doing great things.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
So
no
we're
doubt.
all in this together, y'all. We want to chat with you about your life.
I am with that. That's exactly what's going on. And many of you have hopefully we can get Farmer Dennison in one morning here pretty soon, because he's always fun to talk to.
Yeah.
We can have hopefully we can get Tiffany Jones in here to talk about naturopathic medicine.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe we can maybe we'll have John Hendricks come in talking here about the beer
and
sauce, and because John Hendricks likes to talk about beer. Mike came and visited us last week. We talked a little bit last week with Mike. I don't remember what we talked. What we talk about? Working out a little bit, because he's a heck of a trainer. He's got the amazing 12. We talked about that a little bit. So we just want to take that as an opportunity. I want to touch naked people on air. We could do that.
Who wrote that?
Elise. She's a massage therapist. We could probably do that.
Don't
for
throw
sure.
at me with a good time.
We could do that for sure. Can you get Dennison on during Makate? I know that people would be confused about who is who. That's the big thing, is everybody thinks that Dennison and Makate sound pretty much alike.
They
which
do?
I don't hear it myself.
I don't think so. I'm pretty
we
good
have a
friends
lot
with
of talented
Dennison,
people
but I
in
don't
our
know Makate
group
that well.
that would make great guests for the show. No doubt. That's what we're going to do.
Yes. That's what's so great about our friend group, is that we have so many different people who are not just good but great.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
There are so many, though.
I'm liking this idea of a show while having body work done. That should be hilarious.
I volunteer.
They have the same voice. I can't hear it. I hear everybody saying that, but I just
I'll go back and double check.
Either which way, Wednesday's Makate joins us. We want to feature tomorrow. We're going to be joined by Kyle Kisner. We're going to talk about Fico oil, and we're going to keep that up. So the weed talk will be in the third hour.
Okay.
And then outside of that, I don't know. We're just going to keep having fun. We're going to keep featuring this family, this group. I wouldn't make a great guest, but I'll come by. Oh, Kessler, you'd make a real good guest, bud. Matter of fact, you should put it on your schedule, and you just let me know when you want to make it happen. If you guys reach out to me ahead of time so I can just plan ahead and not double book anybody, that's the main idea.
For Brian Kessler's time, all we need to do is replay the video of walking into his backyard when he was gardening in his underpants. You guys, I damn near died. I was laughing. I was literally crying down both cheeks, like trying not to pee in my pants.
That's
it was
funny.
Hilarious.
That's funny that you bring that up.
Can you play it right now? Do you have it?
I'm going to play that actually right now, and then we're going to come back and sign off for these guys. Guys,
okay.
You're
welcome, everybody.
This right here is one of my favorite things to have happened in
Angie, God, she just
in 2020.
She's just the best, man.
Juicy, because like all things ejaculate, I like things blowing up in my mouth. Get it together, Craig. You got to fucking button it up, pal. You get it together. All right, here's the deal, Pickles. You know what? Let's go for a ride. I'm going over to Brian Kessler's house right now. I'm going over to his fucking house right now. Son of a bitch is supposed to be here mowing the goddamn grass. This guy ain't stopping. Oh, you were not going to stop if I wasn't here, you fucking fucker. I'm going to his house right now. Here we go. I'm pulling up to his house right now. I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll give him a fucking piece of my mind. That's what I'm gonna do. You guys coming with me? Here we go. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm gonna fucking knock on his door right now. Find out, well, his grass ain't cut either. I'm no fucking surprised he didn't cut the fucking Spanish Society grass. This is the kind of fucking shit he's running around here. Hang on, I'll just fucking give you a little fucking view of this. Look at this. You think this guy's going to the Spanish Society to fucking cut their grass? Of course he isn't. Of course he isn't. Guy's got no fucking respect for himself. It's a problem. Where's your dad?
Hello.
Hi, you're live.
Oh, hey.
Where's your husband?
Oh, I'll show you. He's busy gardening.
Oh, he's gardening here. Okay.
I think so.
Let's go. I'm gonna go give him a piece of my mind.
Brian, here comes Craig.
That's what I'm gonna do. Give him a piece of my mind, Ben. That's what I'm gonna do, pal. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll just go back here.
There he
Think
is.
he'd be cutting some grass. Figured he'd be cutting some grass.
How's it going, folks?
Oh man, look what you got here. You got some.
We got some
What do you got growing there, bud?
some peppers, some Spanish peppers, I think they are, and just trying to weed these out a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta. It's all in the hips, bud.
These right here, look at those.
Ooh, that's a. I like the way you. That's how you handle a tomato.
Look
Yeah.
at those.
Yeah, get in
Look
there.
at those.
I'm giving it a look.
Look, there you
Sometimes
go.
it's all you can do is look at it.
Yeah, this one's a little bruised up from last night. though,
Naturally.
so- Yep. But we're doing good here.
Steve says you're growing a cucumber.
Yeah, well, the harvest has been plenty this year. Laborers a few, but we're good. Got some ghost peppers over here coming in.
Ooh, ghost peppers.
Yeah, got them right here.
Don't touch them, dude. What are you,
Like a
crazy?
wrinkly old sack.
What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
Wash your hands, man.
What's going new?
Well, I went to Spanish Society. Thought
Yeah,
you.
we're supposed to be over there cutting grass.
It might rain.
Yeah, but I think we're still going to, I don't know, heavy stuff's not going to come down for a while, so I think we're good.
Let's see if I can get Reggie
Yeah,
Reggie pissing over there on
dropping hogs in
They
the
put a
back.
fire hydrant back here just so Reggie knew where to pee.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, I'm done with you. That's the show. That's the show. This is what you can expect on Patreon. Okay, you pay a couple bucks a month, you get the bulge. Okay, you get the cukes, you get the tomatoes, you get some spicy peppers, you get some long grass, and with any luck, you get something valuable. I love you. I guess since I got cut off last time, I didn't get a chance to say it. Get out there, suck the day's dick. Suck the day's dick. It's clit, whatever your sexual proclivity.
I love that fucking knucklehead. Great tan lines. We were actually talking about your alabaster thighs as that
Nice
was
thighs,
going on.
Bri.
Nice thighs, Bri. That, honest to God, when I
I laughed equally hard this just second
when
time
I
watching
got
it with
when
you
I
guys.
got over there and I caught, you'll notice whenever Angie is leading me out the back door,
Angie Kessler is one lucky lady.
I caught a glimpse of Brian just in his skivvies, and I was having a real hard time holding it together. That shit was so funny.
Hilarious for real.
Brian does all kinds. He does amazing charity work. I always like to be a part of it any way that I can. We do a big washer tournament every year. I can't wait. I already can't wait for this next. We gotta come up with a winter event to be the second event of the year. Well, hey, we have that one in the late
Sock
summer.
hop.
We need to have something like that. What was the idea that I had the other day? We can maybe anyway. We need to come up with an indoor endeavor. We need to do a Hoosier Mission Carnival or something, Brian. Something that would just be super fun and bring us back to kind of our little childhood roots, where we have a bunch of little fun little carnival games and we're raising a bunch of money for the community. If we build out a Hoosier,
We hold cans of Bush and we
Yeah.
smoke cigarettes
Yeah,
and we
no
say
doubt.
things like
if we have an
Southside.
adult mission carnival, that could be the coolest shit ever. So, we'll just find a way to have people gain points, and it'll be great. It'll be great. So anyway, guys, you want to feature yourself or your business or something close to your heart?
Send me pictures of your pets.
Yeah, send pictures of your pets. Reach out to us. Rodney to the headquarters booth. Yes, exactly. Exactly, sir. We're going to do a little Mission Carnival action. Send pictures of your pets. We'll feature them on the show. Come in, talk about your small business or your passion. Hopefully, we're looking for all the experts in the group. We're looking to find the
right.
Dan Hendricksons in the group, the
Right.
people that are masters of their craft that can answer some questions that aren't afraid to get a little weird and in the weeds. That's what we're looking to do. We love you guys. I think it's about time we wrap this bad boy up. And
This was really fun. Thanks for having me.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for filling in and holding it down. And we'll be back here in the morning. We were already talking about Zigzag this morning. I think I just friended Zigzag Skittles. So
I did just friend Zigzag, and I'm his Aunt Missy, and tell him I love him and I miss him.
There you go. Goddamn Viagra works, don't it?
That's in reference to
that's
Brian
in reference
and
to
his.
Brian. Got it. That is a green Hoosier eggplant. Everybody was like, "Oh, I wasn't on
So
Twitch."
it's funny
I was on-
because like we obviously know which pair of underwear is Brian's favorite, right? It's pretty funny.
Actually, I think he actually told me he had a plan for a different set of underwear.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he
okay,
had
that's funny.
but those were the first ones he found. So probably true. Probably, his go-to. Jen says, "Great job tonight. Love you guys both."
Thank you. I love you. I missed you already.
Let's see here. That is a green Hoosier eggplant. Things I love. This fucking video. Brian's an amazing human. Goe Sibo. Brian would make a terrible guest. Please get him on. Come on, talk to us, Diane
Brian
Elkin. We
is
love you, baby.
actually Quite funny.
Oh, Brian's great. Brian called into the old radio show on 590. And I swear, I'm not
remember
kidding.
very well.
I thought he was like an 84-year-old woman
I
or
remember.
84-year-old African-American woman.
I remember very
I had
well.
no idea
It was pretty spot
that
on.
it was him. Hang on one second. My son wants to FaceTime.
Don't do that right now. We'll get after him.
Fair
I
enough.
love you guys.
We love
See
you
you in the
guys.
morning.
We'll see you guys early in the morning.
Mornings are for sleepy
and we'll do something. We'll do something fun together. So, be well. Real quick, go to nativehempextract.com, enter code HOSO at checkout. You really should be checking out Delta 8. If you don't know anything
Just
about
try
Delta 8 THC, but maybe you're looking for all of the kind of the cool things about weed, but maybe they don't want it to last as long. You don't want to be stoned for hours at a time, or you don't want.
I truly feel like I don't use cannabis because it's too much for me. Like I have a very, very low tolerance to all things, so I'm pretty much just sober all the time, right? But I like it because it's like the difference for me between drinking champagne or like Jim Beam. Jim Beam, you're in there, right? Like you're kind of couch locked on it, but it's effervescent and it's lighter, Like I just enjoy it.
Yeah,
fully.
for sure. I dig it. Not to mention all your best CBD, total hemp, total cannabinoid products, CBD, CBG extract, which I think he's running a great deal on right now, Dennis. I'm not sure if that's still going, but if so, you mind putting it out there. It was. If you missed out, let me tell you what you missed out by listening to the morning show. Dennison dropped his CBD, his 1,500 milligram CBD CBG extract with the Hoosier code. It was just a little over $50. That's about as remarkable of a deal as you'll find on something that's that high of milligrams. And that's with your code HOSO at checkout. So check him out. James Carlton sells insurance, carltoninsurance.net. He's a State Farm agent. He's the greatest State Farm agent. He's, dare I say, the greatest insurance agent of all time. They once put him into a gladiatorial arena with all of the other insurance agents, and he tore the throats out of 13 other agents, and he found himself at the top of this mountain of dead insurance agents, where he got to stake his claim as the greatest and most powerful insurance agent in all of the world. His name's James Carlton. He works for State Farm.
That definitely did happen in real life.
314-961-4800, carltoninsurance.net. They want to help you out. If you live in Missouri or Illinois, chances are they're going to save you a significant amount of money and make sure that you're covered better than you were before, where you got insurance. Okay, check out the Spanish Society. Check out the Spanish Society and check out the Vibe Tribe. We talked about Brian Kessler. I'm about fucking sick of it, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway, because all of the charity that we raise, all of the good that we do, we run through that joint, and it's the Spanish Society has been a place for our family to come together, to have great parties and get to know one another very intimately.
You can sing Frank Sinatra with Brian's dad at 4 o'clock in the morning.
One of my favorite things going is singing a little Motown. It's usually Brian that you're singing Sinatra with, but I'll sing Motown with Gino any day of the week. Go check out the Spanish Society and see how maybe you can help out. They have been a staple in the South City Carondelet neighborhood since 1927, and I love working with them. I love doing stuff with them. Adam Bundren doesn't have Bundren Property Group anymore. He and Jenny moved on to a new real estate agent. I'm going to get the information on that because we can give them a shout out. Of course, we still wish our friends and family the best. And so
they're doing big things.
if you reach out to Adam Bundren in the middle of the night, while he might not sell you a house through Bundren Property Group, he will do it from where they're at now with this whole new team that gives them so many more resources. All of your real estate needs, reach out to either Jenny Elgin or Adam Bundren, and they're going to get you fixed up. Bo knows how to grow hydro. I talked to Bo today. I'm getting Bo in contact with some people that asked a big favor. Bo has helped several Hoosiers get their grow setups, and we know that it's going to be hard to get real medicine to patients. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to learn how to grow your own, okay? And I can't think of anybody better to help you grow your own than Bo Bradley at Grow Active Solutions. So if you go hit them up, they're at Hartford and Grand, South City, St. Louis. Go on in there. Tell him the Hoosier sent you. He's going to get you fixed up, and you'll be growing the best medicine you could possibly grow in no time. I'm sure of it. I am very, very sure of it. And Ms. Marketing is a person that handles digital marketing. I was on the Clubhouse app the other day, sitting in a room full of a bunch of content marketers and digital marketers.
First rule of Clubhouse is you don't talk about Clubhouse.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to kind of flex on them a little bit.
Okay.
But anywho, I was in a wonderful little chat with Adam, and the guy is really respected by his peers, his competition, what he's doing, and what he kind of an endeavor that he started right around the time that we met him turned out to be so fruitful that he had to start a business himself in order to fill the needs created by his lead generation. So pretty cool stuff. So Adam McChesney from Ms. Marketing can help you out and help more people see your business and filter more people to your business. That's all I'm going to talk about tonight. I want to thank my lovely, beautiful wife. I can't wait to get you home, man. It's going to be, man, dude, it's going to be something special, girl. I want to thank you for filling in and holding some space down with us. And we're going to up the production value and see what we can do to keep the conversation growing and keep the conversation, valuable and feature the community in every way that we can. And, yeah, man, that's the deal. Baby, you know how we end this thing?
Yes.
Tell them.
Cowabunga.